Hey friends, this is Rachel, the Water Fire Mama. This video is for anyone who is in survival mode and is looking for a better way to manage their emotions. Part 1 is going to show you how essential oils work with our emotions and why they are a really great self-care option. In Part 2, we're going to talk about how to use essential oils to help you feel better and show up in your life in a way that is more intentional and less reactive. And even if you don't think essential oils are for you, I promise that you'll still find a lot of good emotional tools here. Welcome back. Last time, we talked about how emotions come up automatically as we experience different things in our worlds. They motivate us to either get more of something by approaching or to get less of something by either avoiding or attacking in a given situation. This is supposed to keep us safe and help us maintain relationships with people. We also talked about how when emotions get too strong, rather than suppressing or soaking in them, we want to practice skills that regulate them. In my last video, I outlined a process to notice what you're feeling, acknowledge that you have the right to feel that way, surrender those emotions to God, ask yourself how the best version of you would show up in the situation, and finally, focus mindfully on what's right in front of you. If you need a refresher on what's behind each of those steps, go back and watch my video titled Caring for Yourself Emotionally When the Bottom Drops Out of Your World. As high-impact caregivers, we so often don't have the time or space to spend hours or even minutes sometimes taking care of ourselves. Essential oils are an extremely fast and effective way to support your emotions and mood. As a special needs parent, when I start to feel overwhelmed, anxious, discouraged, or defeated, one of my favorite emotion regulation skills is to combine the use of essential oils with prayer and affirmations. It's one of my go-to self-care activities. Aromatherapy is not a new trend or something the perfume industry came up with to sell candles and body wash. Plant medicine has been used for centuries. Did you know that the Babylonians used frankincense to encourage feelings of peace and relaxation? Or that the ancient Romans used fennel before battle to help them feel strong and brave? Essential oils interact on a cellular level with our bodies. You may have heard of a friend using peppermint to calm a digestive upset or tea tree to help with issues with hair, skin, or nails. Maybe you've used them yourself for something like this. Just like essential oils support systems in our bodies to work more like they're supposed to, they can work within the systems of our brain and influence our emotions. Now, to really get how this works, you need to know a little bit about the limbic and olfactory systems in the brain. The limbic system houses the structures in our brains that manage decision-making, memories and what we associate with them, emotions and mood, and our physical responses to what's going on around us. It takes what we remember, what we have learned based on past experiences, and helps us decide what the safest course of action is right now. It takes a look at what's going on around us and helps us decide if it would be better to stay in the situation and chill or get out of the situation by fighting or running away. It does this by creating an emotion whose job it is to motivate us to approach, avoid, or attack. The olfactory system is basically your sense of smell. It's nestled in your brain right up against the limbic system. The fastest way to affect your limbic system and emotions is actually through your sense of smell, because it relays information about what you're smelling and the associations you make with those smells directly into your limbic system, and that info is processed right alongside your thoughts and emotions. Let me give you an example. Have you ever walked outside and smelled smoke? You probably immediately started scanning the horizon for the source, maybe without even realizing it. Our brains know that where there's smoke, there's fire, and that can be dangerous. The olfactory and limbic systems were working together to make sure that you were well away from that fire, wherever it was, to keep you safe. You probably didn't feel fear in that situation, but if you ever had a scary experience with fire, you might have. Sometimes the package of smells, emotions, and memories gets dysregulated, and it isn't so helpful. Whenever my son has a medical procedure where he has to have general anesthesia, he smells a certain way when he gets back from the OR. When I smell that, my heart starts to race and my eyes tear up because I'm associating that smell with the horror of seeing him after his first open heart surgery as a baby. I have to remind myself that he's okay, I'm okay, and the situation is under control. On the other hand, smells can impact our emotions positively. I love the smell of yellow onions cooking because it reminds me of when I was little visiting my grandparents' house. It was a place of love, joy, safety, and yummy food. When I smell something with a positive association, even though that good thing isn't happening to me at the moment, I still feel good. So why use essential oils instead of other methods of making myself feel better? First, essential oils are healthy. Eating junk food or drinking alcohol not only numbs the emotions rather than dealing with them, they are not the healthiest choices for my body in the long run. Second, essential oils are powerful. One drop goes a long way in terms of benefits. In fact, one drop of pure grade peppermint essential oil is equal to the benefits of about 28 cups of peppermint tea. Third, they are customizable. It's really easy to adjust the amount I use and to combine different oils together to get the results I want. Essential oils work quickly. It takes just seconds from the time I inhale the aroma for it to start working with my limbic system and supporting my emotions. They're accessible. I don't need a prescription from a doctor to use them, just a little bit of knowledge. Essential oils play well with others. I can use them seamlessly along with mindfulness, therapy, exercise, and even medication when needed. They're inexpensive. I use the highest quality essential oils, and even then, it only costs me pennies per use. Compare that with grabbing a cold brew coffee at my local cafe, and I'm coming out way ahead. I use essential oils instead of a synthesized fragrance that I can find at a retail store because when we take a plant and distill it into an essential oil, that oil contains hundreds of different natural compounds that are beneficial to the body regardless of how they smell. Think of it this way. Eating orange-flavored Jell-O doesn't have much nutritional value for our bodies, even though it might taste sort of like oranges. But eating fresh spinach does have nutritional value, even if I don't care much for the taste. Many essential oils can pass through the blood-brain barrier where they can support functions of the hippocampus, hypothalamus, and the limbic system, all of which process emotions, memory, mood, and the management of stress responses. Synthetic fragrances can't do that. I personally only use and recommend doTERRA oils. doTERRA has partnered and collaborated with over 100 different organizations to do research and clinical trials, including Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, and Johns Hopkins. The batch-to-batch consistency of their oils makes their purity, potency, and efficacy unmatched. Each oil is sustainably sourced, and doTERRA's treatment of the farmers and growers they partner with is exemplary. I also use these oils on my boys, and I feel much better about putting oils that have been third-party tested on their skin. Guys, discovering this way of caring for myself was a game changer. Using essential oils has been such a tangible comfort during so many of the really dark days. I don't want you to go another day without these beautiful gifts. So once you decide to work with essential oils, how should you use them? There are lots of ways to use them to support your emotions and mood, but the most effective way I've found is to intentionally pair them with affirmations and/or prayer. In my next video, I'm going to show you how to choose an essential oil and how to use it to support your emotions, change your mood, and rewire your thoughts. So make sure you jump over and watch that now. See you in a sec.